Today we have Emily McSherry with us, the CEO of Advise. Emily is passionate about helping students discover their professional potential through her platform, Advise, which bridges the gap between the valuable information industry professionals have about their careers and the students who need it most. With her strong background in learning and development, she is reshaping how students approach career discovery. It's a pleasure to have you as a guest today, Emily.
Yes, excited to be here.
Great. To begin, could you tell our listeners about your journey, your background, and what motivated you to pursue a career in learning and development, ultimately leading you to create advice?
Yes, so quick background about who I am and kind of how I got here. So I grew up in a very small, tiny town in Texas that had literally no stoplights. And I always wanted to be a successful businesswoman someday, but didn't have a lot of people around me or the access to those types of individuals to look up to do that. But nonetheless, I eventually went to the University of Arizona on a free ride tuition scholarship. I was a double business major studying management and entrepreneurship. And I was a state softball champion. And I was always really curious and excited about my career. So I had many internships. I also did a lot of informational interviews or trying to reach out to alumni professionals to interview them about jobs as well. But somehow, despite all that, I still felt lost and confused about my career when I graduated. And then fast forward, I spent about 7 years in the talent and recruitment industry space. So both at small private agencies and then also the big global institutions such as Michael Page, which is one of the largest recruitment agencies in the world. And I specifically went from sales into learning and development. And in my learning and development roles, I would train hundreds of recruiters how to recruit professionals into jobs. So I could essentially take someone who had no idea what marketing was or what finance was on Wall Street, and I would make them experts really fast so they could have these high level conversations with executives and people in that space. And I would do this by teaching them to reach out to people on LinkedIn and interview them and ask questions. And so through that whole process, I became an expert about every type of career. I knew every industry was out there. I understood job functions, different job titles, what people got paid. And I really wish I knew this information earlier when I was a student, when I was trying to figure things out. And so that was one kind of part of the journey was my own experience. And then the second was realizing how valuable information is from people directly. Even this podcast, right? So collecting information from people and hearing real stories from people and documenting that has a lot of value. We would even pay experts thousands of dollars just to interview them for 30 minutes
Wow.
for a project, a consulting project. So that all that being said, at the university level, as part of the exploration process of what I want to do, students are recommended to do informational interviews or actually talking to professionals, one to network, but the big piece is to learn about if something is for you, a particular career path. Now, if you go to any school website, pretty much at the Career Center, there's usually a guide that's in a document saying, follow this guide, go on LinkedIn or reach out to your network and ask these questions. But I realized there's a lot of problems with this process. So one is students don't have enough time to do these. We realized it could take up to 25 hours for one student to talk to 10 professionals in just one career path,
Yeah.
right? Because you need to find them, reach out to them, learn how to reach out to them, interview them, document it, and somehow doing this on top of school and everything else. So it's very time consuming. And then that might not even be the right career for you. So time is a big one. And then other challenges like networking. Not everyone has a career path for them, or not everyone has a family or people they can get connected with super easily. And so, all that being said, we came up with the idea of doing informational interviews in short form video and getting that in the hands of students so it could be scalable. And now instead of 25 hours, someone could find that same information with advice in less than 10 minutes, basically.
Wow, that's amazing. It's been quite a journey, Emily. So you switched your career from sales over to learning and development, and you found opportunities to improve the process, and that's why you decided to uh, kickstart Advice. That leads us to the next question. Advice provides an innovative platform that helps students discover their careers through interviews and professionals. What inspired you to develop this platform, and how has it impacted students' career paths and job searches?
Yeah, so what motivated me for my story is a lot of the challenges I experienced myself. Also, in business school is when I came up with this idea and pitched it to my business school classmates as a project. And so we talked about maybe 20 to 50 other ideas, and they wanted to do this one. So we started getting kind of excited about it for several reasons, not just the fact that it could be really scalable. In the US alone, there's 6,000 schools in the US. Even in I forget exactly the number of students, but you can imagine millions and millions of students are
Mhm.
in college.
Yeah.
We also saw the potential of impacting high school students. And then even when people get into their career to even use advice to hire. So we really got excited about the possibility from a business lens. But then I've always really wanted to do something that is both profitable and good for either the world or for people. So in business school, we call that a double bottom line or a triple bottom line. So, from a personal standpoint, I got really excited about the fact that I could wake up every day doing something that is all giving the financial freedom and those wonderful things about being an entrepreneur. Um, but it would also be making a real difference. So every day I'm very excited about the problems that we're solving, the conversations that we're having, and the impact it can really have. Because at the end of the day, your career is almost more important than picking your partner, is what I say, which or other decisions, because those things affect where you meet people. They affect where you live. They affect how you can provide for yourself or someone else or your family. So I believe like your career and how you make money is extremely, extremely important. And there's not a lot of strong research options out there to help people get started off the right way. So all those things have really built behind the passion for it. And currently, we've been rolling out at our initial school partners this school year, which has been really exciting. And so we just developed something called our AI generated content playlists. So we have about 10,000 short form informational interview questions on our site currently. And we're seeing a ton of traction. Just at one school, there's been over 9,000 minutes watched in the last 5 weeks.
Wow.
And with these, yeah, so just at one school, we're getting a lot of traction in the classroom and people watching the videos, which is super exciting.
Yeah.
And we wanted to take it one level deeper. So not just watch, but what happens when they watch.
Hmm.
So with these playlists, we're combining different videos and putting them in combinations of topics and recommending them to students with specific career goals, such as, do I want to go into consulting? So
Hmm.
now we have a playlist that measures before, how much do you understand this? What's your interest level? Then they watch a couple people based on their profile. That's a best match. And then at the end, we measure again. So we're actually able to quantify, for example, in this classroom, 60 there was a 60% increase in understanding about a particular career path from watching one playlist.
If I understand your product capabilities correctly, would it be used by marketing agencies for market research exercises that they perform on a regular basis? I know your focus currently is universities, but could that be used in that capacity as well?
It could, because of the transcript data that we have, right? Running it across the information about trends or what people are saying. The way that we're planning to tackle it is primarily selling into companies. So building custom playlists of roles representing different people at a company and putting it into a playlist, and then actually sponsoring that playlist or marketing that playlist to the right students.
Mhm.
because so it is marketing, but we're looking at it from like the recruitment angle of a company,
Yeah.
which spend, I think they spend over like, billions of dollars for early talent recruitment, for example. And it would be really helpful because the job platforms that are out there now, they do AI matching to jobs, but it's really based on the resume. So what we're able to do is actually recommend jobs and companies based on their activity in our platform, which is very valuable to companies that are trying to get more applications and have a short list of candidates.
Okay, wonderful. Excellent. My next question is about the focus of your platform. I know your strong focus is on providing access to information across multiple industries. What drives your passion for offering students the tools to make informed decisions about their professional future?
Yeah, it has a lot to do with what I mentioned before, in terms of I think career is such a pivotal and important thing. And I think that whole process can just be so much better, right? Why aren't we researching our careers up front? Because it could impact and make everything so much better. People would be happier. Um, and I really feel like there's too many inefficiencies in the process. And I'm excited about how Advise can address not just one career, but pretty much any career with our solution.
Do you think with a lot of adoption of AI in the last 1 year or so, that's going to change the landscape quite a bit, and people are going to be more proactive in searching about their career of their own?
Yes, I do see students and even universities leveraging AI in different ways to help them answer questions about their job, things like that. So I would say absolutely. I would say the one thing that we are excited about is our information's coming directly from real people, and you can't hide that on video. It's not fake. It's not searching randomly across the internet. All of our data would be directly from real people who even can code themselves as first generation or international or a veteran. So we see that as an advantage with everything else that's going on, but also a way to make our content and all of our data really helpful as we continue to build our library up to 30,000, 50,000 videos.
You are at 30,000 videos right now?
No, we're at about 10,000.
Okay, wow. Amazing.
I don't feel like I get the most out of that tool. And then I don't feel like I have enough time to learn that tool. I would say I'm still very techy and I've done, I've built CRMs and implemented them, trained people on them. So I get a lot of that stuff. But I think they're all developing so
You
much
built the
that there's
first,
no way to keep, yeah.
I was gonna say, you said you built the first version of Advise yourself, which is, you know, pretty technical in itself.
That is true. I would say what's nice about technology now is I think 10 years ago, I would have had to raise money to build a prototype. But now, if you're kind of techie, there's tools out there where you can build prototypes and kind of figure things out, which is great. I think it's been able to provide entrepreneurs ways to do things without being as stuck. Um, so I'll give myself a little credit. I'll give myself a little credit. But in terms of the AI and being fast and everything like that, my solution to get the most out of the platform, feature development, everything like that was to bring on our CTO, which we have recently, which has been great. So, in order to stay on top of all of that, make sure we're using the right technologies, having really good security for students, all of that, that is the CTO's lead, and I am support. Trying to think what else. I would say one thing that's also nice about Advise and technology is we're not developing rockets, right? We actually have a very simple concept, and then all of the development and everything like that. We're able to leverage AI to do things that we couldn't have done before pretty quickly, right? Like these AI playlists, we were able to get done in a week with our CTO, which has made a huge difference. And so we plan to keep iterating, talking to our customers, talking to our students to figure out what to build next, and going from there.
Okay, fantastic. That's wonderful.